Commander Lee Tae-min stared at the massive display screen in the control room of Aegis Prime. The space station floated silently at the edge of Earth's solar system like a metal guardian watching for threats. Stars twinkled in the endless black void beyond the thick glass windows. It had been 3 months since humanity built their first deep space monitoring station. 3 months of watching empty space and listening to cosmic silence. Lee Tae-min was starting to think this assignment was a waste of his military training. Then the alarm started screaming. Dr. Park So-young rushed to her communications console. Her fingers flew across the holographic keyboard as data streams flowed down her screen like digital waterfalls. The young scientist had spent years studying theoretical alien languages. Now she might be facing the real thing. "Commander," she called out with excitement in her voice, "we're receiving a transmission from outside our solar system. It's not natural cosmic radiation. This is artificial. This is intelligent." Lee Tae-min moved quickly to stand behind her chair. His dark eyes scanned the scrolling data. Years of military command had taught him to stay calm under pressure, but his heart was beating faster. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Today they might get their answer. "Where is it coming from?" he asked. "The Kepler 442 system," Park So-young replied while adjusting her equipment. "Distance is approximately 1,200 light-years from Earth. The signal is using quantum entanglement transmission technology. That's far beyond our current capabilities." Engineer Han Murray looked up from her station across the room. She was the youngest member of the crew, but also the smartest when it came to technology. "Commander, the signal strength suggests this isn't a normal communication. The power levels are massive. Whatever is sending this message is using enormous amounts of energy." Lee Tae-min nodded slowly. In his experience, nobody used that much power for casual conversation. "Can you decode the message, Dr. Park?" Park So-young was already working on the problem. Mathematical patterns flowed across her secondary screen. She had developed new computer programs to analyze unknown languages by looking for basic mathematical concepts that should be universal. "Give me 10 minutes, she said without looking away from her work. The control room fell silent except for the soft humming of computers and life support systems. Lee Tae-min watched the young scientist work. Park So-young had graduated from Seoul National University at age 22 with degrees in both linguistics and xenobiology. She had spent her whole career preparing for this moment. Other crew members gathered around the communications station. Captain Kim Dong-woo arrived from the military section of the station. His tactical uniform was perfectly clean and his expression was serious. Behind him came 3 of his best soldiers. "What's the situation?" Kim Dong-woo asked. "First contact," Lee Tae-min replied simply. Kim Dong-woo raised his eyebrows but said nothing. Both men had served together in Earth's defense forces for 15 years. They communicated with looks as much as words. "Got it," Park So-young suddenly announced. Her face was pale with concentration, but her eyes were bright with discovery. "The message is using a mathematical base 12 system with quantum linguistic markers. It's actually quite elegant once you understand the structure." She pressed a button and alien sounds filled the control room. The voice was musical but urgent. High-pitched tones mixed with low harmonic frequencies that made the humans feel uncomfortable. "This is a distress signal," Park So-young translated as the message played. "The sender identifies themselves as the Valathi Trading Convoy Designation 7 Alpha 9. They are under attack by hostile forces identified as the Korthik Empire." The alien voice continued speaking with increasing desperation. "They're requesting immediate assistance from any species capable of faster-than-light travel," Park So-young continued. "The Valathi convoy consists of 12 civilian transport ships carrying approximately 30,000 individuals. They are trapped in an asteroid field and cannot escape." Lee Tae-min felt a cold weight in his stomach. 30,000 lives? There's more," Park So-young said. "They mention that they have heard rumors about a new species called humans. They describe us as recently achieving interstellar capability, but they seem to think we're just another peaceful Trading race. Kim Dong-woo stepped forward. How long ago was this message sent? Based on quantum decay signatures, approximately 18 hours ago, Hanmira answered from her engineering station. If we left immediately, it would take our fastest ships 3 days to reach the Kepler 442 system. 18 hours, Lee Tae-min repeated quietly. Anything could happen in 18 hours during a battle. Park So-young played the final section of the message. The alien voice was barely controlling panic now. They're saying the Korthik forces are destroying one ship every few hours. It appears to be some kind of siege tactic designed to force surrender. The Vilathi are begging anyone who receives this message to help them. The control room was silent for a long moment. Every person present understood the weight of this decision. Humanity had just learned they were not alone in the universe. Their first contact with alien intelligence was a desperate plea for help. Lee Tae-min looked at the star map showing the location of Kepler 442. It was so far away that light from their sun had left before human civilization began. Now people there were dying while asking strangers for help. Hanmire, can our ships make the journey? He asked. Yes, sir. The new quantum drive systems can reach Kepler 442 in 3 days. We have enough fuel and supplies for a rescue mission. Kim Dong-woo was studying tactical data on his personal tablet. Commander, we don't know anything about these Korthik forces. We don't know their weapons, their numbers, or their capabilities. This could be a trap. Lee Tae-min nodded. Kim Dong-woo was right to be cautious. But 30,000 innocent lives were at stake. Dr. Park, send a response message, he decided. Tell the Vilathi that Earth has received their distress signal. Tell them help is coming. Park So-young's hands were shaking slightly as she prepared the transmission equipment. She was about to send humanity's first message to an alien species. What? Should I tell them about us? She asked. Lee Tae-min looked out at the stars. Somewhere in that vast darkness, people were dying. Whether they were human or alien didn't matter. They needed help and Earth could provide it. Tell them we're neighbors, he said simply, and neighbors help each other. The message transmitted into the void at the speed of thought. Humanity's first words to an alien species were a promise of hope. Admiral Yoon Ji-hoon stood on the bridge of the Earth battleship Thunder Dragon as it dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Around him, 5 more human warships materialized in the darkness of space near the Kepler 442 system. The rescue fleet had traveled for 3 days straight to reach this distant star. Admiral, we have visual contact with the situation, reported Lieutenant Bae Jin-ho from the sensor station. The main screen flickered to life, showing a massive asteroid field stretching across thousands of kilometers. Yoon Ji-hoon studied the tactical display with experienced eyes. He had commanded Earth Space Forces for 12 years and fought in 3 major conflicts. But he had never seen anything like this. 12 alien ships were trapped deep inside the asteroid field. Their hulls were sleek and curved like ocean creatures rather than the angular military vessels humans preferred. These had to be the Vilathi trading convoy. Several of the ships showed damage from weapons fire. Dark holes in their silver hulls leaked atmosphere into space. Surrounding the asteroid field in a perfect circle were 30 Korthik warships. These vessels looked more familiar to human eyes. They were built for war with heavy armor plating and massive weapon arrays. Each ship was 3 times larger than the biggest human battleship. The Korthik are maintaining a siege formation, observed Captain Kim Dong-woo from his position at the tactical station. He had transferred to the Thunder Dragon to lead the ground assault teams. Classic encirclement strategy. They're positioned to prevent any escape while slowly destroying the trapped ships. Dr. Namunji looked up from her medical scanner readings. Admiral, I'm detecting life signs from the Vilathi ships. The numbers are dropping steadily. Whatever weapons the Korthik are using, they're causing severe casualties. Yoon Ji-hoon nodded grimly. The situation was exactly what they had feared. The Korthik Empire was using standard military tactics that had probably worked for centuries against other alien species. Create a perimeter, demand surrender, and slowly increase pressure until the enemy gave up. Sergeant Choi Hein-woo, what's your assessment? The admiral asked. The grizzled Special Forces leader studied the enemy formation through his tactical scope. Choi Hein-woo had served in Earth's most dangerous missions. He was known for seeing opportunities where others saw only problems. The Korthik are following textbook siege protocols, he reported. They're confident and relaxed. Look at their ship positioning. They're not even facing the asteroid field directly. Half their weapons are powered down. They're not expecting a fight, Captain Kim Dong-woo added with a cold smile. They think this is already over. Admiral Yoon Ji-hoon activated the fleet communications channel. All ships, this is Thunder Dragon Actual. We are looking at 30 enemy vessels in siege. Formation around friendly civilians. Standard tactical doctrine would suggest we request reinforcements and wait for a larger fleet. He paused and looked around the bridge at his crew. These were Earth's finest military personnel. They had trained their entire lives for situations exactly like this. However, standard tactical doctrine assumes the enemy knows we're coming, he continued. Dragon Squadron, prepare for immediate assault. We're going to use the asteroid field. Several junior officers looked confused. The asteroid field was a death trap full of spinning rocks and unstable gravitational forces. No sane military commander would hide a fleet inside such a dangerous environment. Fortunately, humans were not considered entirely sane by galactic standards. Sir, the asteroid field is extremely hazardous, Lieutenant Bae Jin-ho reported with concern. Our ships could be crushed or damaged by the floating rocks. Exactly, Yoon Ji-hoon replied. That's why the Korthak won't expect us to use it. Sergeant Choi, deploy your teams to the asteroid mining charges we brought for the construction mission. Choi Hein-woo grinned with anticipation. Understood, Admiral. Converting construction equipment to weapon systems. The human fleet moved carefully into the asteroid field like predators stalking prey. Their ships were smaller and more maneuverable than the massive Korthik vessels. Human pilots had trained in Earth's own asteroid belt where one mistake meant death. Inside the rocks and ice of the field, the human ships became invisible to Korthik sensors. The enemy was looking for threats in open space, not hidden among floating mountains of stone. Teams Alpha and Beta are in position, Choi Hein-woo reported from his assault ship. Mining charges attached to strategic asteroids. We can create a debris storm on your command? Captain Kim Dong-woo monitored enemy communications from his intelligence station. Admiral, the Korthik are completely unaware of our presence. They're discussing dinner plans and shift rotations. They think they're on a routine siege mission? Dr. Nam Eun-ji had been studying the Korthik ship designs through long-range scanners. Admiral, their vessels appear to be optimized for combat. In open space, heavy armor but limited maneuverability. They're built to fight enemies who follow conventional tactics. Then it's time to show them some unconventional tactics, Admiral Yoon Ji-hoon declared. All ships execute Operation Rockslide. The human fleet erupted from the asteroid field like a natural disaster. Sergeant Choi's teams detonated their mining charges simultaneously, sending massive chunks of rock flying toward the Korthik ships at incredible speed. The enemy formation was suddenly under attack from directions they never expected. Korthik vessels scrambled to respond, but their heavy ships turned slowly. Human fighters weaved between asteroids using the floating rocks as cover and weapons. Captain Kim Dong-woo's tactical teams had calculated the exact trajectory needed to use the asteroid field's own momentum against the enemy. Direct hit on Korthik flagship, reported Lieutenant Bae Jun-ho with excitement. Their command ship is losing power. The Thunder Dragon emerged from behind a spinning asteroid the size of a small moon. Its weapons fired continuously at surprised Korthik vessels that had never faced an enemy willing to fight from inside a debris field. This is impossible, came a panicked transmission from a Korthik ship. No species fights like this. They're using the environment as a weapon. Admiral Yoon Ji-hoon smiled coldly. Earth's military doctrine was built around adaptation and survival. Humans had learned to use every available resource because their homeworld demanded it. Within 2 hours, the Korthek siege was broken, half. Their ships were destroyed or disabled. The remaining vessels retreated in confusion, broadcasting warnings about the insane creatures who turned asteroid fields into battlegrounds. The Valathi convoy was free, and humanity had won their first interstellar battle using tactics no other species had ever imagined. Dr. Nam Yunji stepped carefully through the airlock connecting the human medical ship to the Valathi trading vessel. Her medical equipment floated beside her in the zero-gravity environment. Behind her, Ambassador Oh Seung-min adjusted his translation. Device one final time. This was humanity's first face-to-face meeting with an alien species, the Valathi. Ship's interior was unlike anything the humans had imagined. Curved walls glowed with soft blue light that seemed to pulse like a heartbeat. The air smelled of flowers and ocean breezes. Everything was designed for comfort rather than efficiency. "Welcome aboard the Swift Current," came a melodic voice. From ahead, a figure approached them through the gentle lighting. Dr. Nam Yunji's breath caught in her throat. The Valathi captain was beautiful in an alien way that reminded her of deep-sea creatures from Earth's oceans. Captain Salandra had smooth skin that shifted colors from blue to silver as she moved. Her large eyes held intelligence and gratitude. "We are honored to meet the legendary humans," Captain Salandra said through the translation device. Her voice carried musical tones that made the words sound like singing. "Though we must admit, you are not what we expected." Ambassador Oh Seung-min stepped forward with careful diplomatic movements. He had prepared for this moment his entire career, but nothing could have truly prepared him for first contact. "We are honored to meet you as well, Captain Salandra," he replied formally. "We received your distress signal and came as quickly as possible. How can we help your people?" Captain Salandra gestured toward the medical bay where several injured Valathi were resting. "Dr. Nam Yunji, if that is correct, we have wounded who require assistance. Though I must warn you, our biology may be very different from yours." Dr. Nam Yunji nodded and moved toward the patients. Her scanner immediately began analyzing alien physiology. What she discovered made her gasp with surprise. "Ambassador," she called quietly, "their cellular structure is incredibly fragile compared to human biology. Their bones are hollow like bird bones. Their organs are designed for a low-gravity environment with pure atmosphere." She looked at Captain Salandra with new understanding. "Your people evolved on a paradise world, didn't you?" The Valathi captain nodded sadly. "Our home world of Veltar has gentle weather, clean air, and peaceful conditions. We are a trading species because we have never needed to develop military technology. Violence is difficult for us to understand." Ambassador Oh Seung-min was beginning to realize something important. "Captain, what do you know about human evolution? What have you heard about our species?" "We have heard rumors from other traders," Captain Salandra replied. "Some say humans recently achieved faster-than-light travel. Most species assume you are another peaceful civilization like ourselves, perhaps skilled at commerce or art." Dr. Nam Yunji finished treating a wounded Valathi and turned to face the captain. "What kind of world do most galactic species come from?" "Stable worlds with kind climates," Captain Salandra answered with confusion. "Worlds where life can develop safely. Why do you ask?" Before anyone could answer, shouts echoed from another section of the ship. Captain Kim Dong-woo's voice came through their communication devices. "Ambassador, we need you in the prisoner holding area immediately. The captured Korthek commander is requesting to speak with human leadership." The three representatives made their way through the ship to where the humans had established a temporary prison. Commander Breakthrough of the Korthek Empire sat behind an energy barrier, his reptilian features showing clear signs of distress. The Korthek commander was larger than any human, with thick scales and powerful muscles. His species had obviously evolved for combat, but his eyes held something unexpected: fear. "You are the humans," Commander Breakthrough stated in accented galactic standard language. "The impossible creatures from the death world." Ambassador Oh Seung-min looked confused. Death World? Your planet Earth? The Korthik commander explained with a shudder. We accessed your ship's navigation database. Your world should not be able to support intelligent life. The gravity is crushing. The atmosphere is poison to most species. The weather systems are violent beyond imagination. Dr. Nam Yunji felt pieces of a puzzle clicking into place in her mind. Commander Breakthrough. What are normal conditions like for most galactic species? Standard gravity is 60% of your Earth normal, the Korthik replied. Standard atmosphere is pure and filtered. Weather systems are controlled and predictable. Most worlds have never experienced what you call storms or earthquakes or volcanic activity. Captain Salandra was staring at the humans with growing amazement. Your world has uncontrolled weather? Dangerous animals? Unstable geology? Every day, Dr. Nam Yunji replied simply. Humans evolved on a world that tries to kill us constantly. We adapted to survive in conditions that would be fatal to most life forms. Commander Breakthrough leaned forward with desperate intensity. Do you understand what this means? Your species weaponized environmental adaptation. You can survive in vacuum longer than most species can survive in thin atmosphere. Your bones are dense enough to withstand crushing forces. Your muscles developed to fight constant gravity. Ambassador Oh Sung-min was beginning to understand humanity's true position in galactic society. Are you saying that humans are naturally superior warriors? Superior? Commander Breakthrough laughed bitterly. Your species are living weapons created by the most hostile environment in known space. You fight using tactics that would kill the warriors attempting them. You turned an asteroid field into a weapon because you see deadly environments as opportunities. Captain Salandra looked at her human rescuers with new respect and slight fear. The battle reports from your rescue mission have already spread across our communication networks. Other species are calling it impossible. No civilized race fights from inside an asteroid field. We're not exactly civilized by galactic standards, Dr. Nam Yunji admitted with a small smile. We're survivors from a death world who learned to work together. The Korthik commander stood up slowly. Human ambassador, I formally request asylum from the Korthik Empire. My people will execute me for losing ships to an inferior force. They will never understand that your forces were not inferior. They were just impossible. Ambassador Oh Sung-min looked around the room at the alien representatives. A peaceful trader species that saw humans as legendary rescuers. An enemy commander who wanted protection from his own people rather than face them after losing to humans, humanity, had entered galactic society as the mythical warriors from the death world that shouldn't exist? Captain Salandra, he said finally, we need to learn more about this galaxy. And I think the galaxy needs to learn more about humans. The first day of humanity's galactic diplomacy had revealed that Earth's children were already legends. President Kang In-ho stood at the window of the presidential palace in Seoul, looking up at the stars that had once seemed so distant. 6 months had passed since the Kepler 442 rescue mission. Now those same stars carried messages about Earth's legendary warriors to every corner of the galaxy. Mr. President, the Galactic Council representatives have arrived, announced his aide from the doorway. Kang In-ho turned away from the window and straightened his formal suit. Today's meeting would determine humanity's future role in galactic civilization. He walked toward the conference room where alien ambassadors waited to discuss Earth's official membership in their interstellar community. The conference room had been specially modified to accommodate different alien species. The lighting was adjustable, the atmosphere could be filtered, and the gravity could be reduced for more fragile visitors. Despite all these preparations, the alien delegates still seemed nervous in Earth's environment. Ambassador Velteran of the Peaceful Trade Alliance spoke first. Her crystalline form sparkled in the soft light as her translator converted harmonic tones into human language. President Kang In-ho, the Galactic Council has voted unanimously to invite Earth into our community. However, we must discuss the unique role your species would fill. Dr. Baek the Jin sat at the president's right side, her research tablet displaying months of analysis about galactic species and their capabilities. She had discovered that humans were not just superior warriors but represented an entirely new category of intelligent life. What role are you proposing? President Kang In-ho asked carefully, the Korthik representative. General Morthak shifted uncomfortably in his reinforced chair. His people had been enemies 6 months ago. Now they were requesting human protection from other threats. Your species would serve as Deathworld protectors, General Morthak explained. This is a position that has never existed before because no species like yours has ever been discovered. You would be responsible for defending peaceful civilizations from military aggressors. Ambassador Salandra leaned forward from her position at the table. The Vilathi captain had become Earth's strongest supporter in galactic politics after her rescue. President Kang, your people have already proven they can accomplish what entire fleets of normal species cannot. The rescue at Kepler 442 has become legendary. Every peaceful race in the galaxy knows the story. President Kang In-ho looked around the table at representatives from 12 different alien species. Some looked hopeful, others appeared frightened, but all of them showed respect for human capabilities. Dr. Beek, what does your research tell us about this proposal? He asked. Dr. Beek the Jin activated her holographic display, showing comparative analysis of human versus alien biology and psychology. Mr. President, my studies confirm what we learned during first contact. Humans evolved under conditions that would kill most galactic species within hours. Our gravity is 3 times galactic standard. Our atmosphere contains gases that are toxic to many aliens. Our planet experiences weather events that would destroy most civilizations. She switched to tactical analysis data from General SCO Minho's military research. More importantly, our combat psychology is completely different. Most galactic species fight according to established rules and traditions. They follow predictable patterns that have remained unchanged for thousands of years. Humans adapt and innovate constantly because our survival depended on it. General SAO Minho entered the conference room carrying classified military reports. He had spent months analyzing galactic conflicts and had reached startling conclusions. Mr. President, I've studied over 300 galactic military conflicts from the past century, he reported. Every single war followed the same basic patterns: established siege tactics, predictable fleet formations, and formal surrender protocols. Most conflicts end with minimal casualties because both sides follow the same military doctrine. He activated a tactical display showing human versus alien combat capabilities. Human military doctrine is based on survival, adaptation, and victory at any cost. We use environmental factors as weapons. We employ tactics that other species consider impossible or insane. From their perspective, we don't fight wars, we wage natural disasters. Ambassador Velteran's crystalline form flickered with nervous energy. General SEO, this is exactly why the galaxy needs human protection. There are rogue species and military empires that prey on peaceful civilizations. Your warriors could stop conflicts that have continued for generations. President Kang In-ho considered the weight of the decision. Earth could become the galaxy's military force, but that responsibility would change humanity forever. What would this mean for Earth's independence? He asked. Complete autonomy, replied General Morthak immediately. No galactic authority would dare attempt to control a Deathworld species. Your people would operate independently with full authority to make military decisions. Dr. Beek the Jin looked up from her analysis. Mr. President, there's another factor to consider. My biological studies show that human intervention could prevent millions of deaths across the galaxy. Most species are simply not equipped to defend themselves against modern military threats. The room fell silent as President Kang In-ho weighed the options. Earth could remain isolated and safe, or humanity could accept responsibility for protecting species that could not protect themselves. A soft chime indicated an incoming priority message. Admiral Lee Tae-min appeared on the communication screen from his command ship in deep space. Mr. President, we're receiving multiple distress signals from the Arcturus sector. The Savage Coalition is attacking civilian populations. Local defense forces are requesting immediate human assistance. President Kang In-ho looked at the faces around the conference table. The alien representatives watched him with hope and desperation. These were good people asking for help against enemies they could not defeat. Admiral Lee, prepare the fleet for immediate deployment, he decided. Tell the Arcturus civilians that Earth is responding to their call for help. He turned to face the alien ambassadors. The Galactic Council will have their Deathworld protectors. But understand this, humans will protect the innocent according to our own moral standards, not galactic politics. Ambassador Salandra's expression showed profound relief. President Kong, you have just saved countless lives across the galaxy. 3 hours later, Admiral Lee Tae-min led the first official human peacekeeping fleet toward the Arcturus sector. Behind him, 5 more fleets prepared for deployment to different crisis zones across the galaxy. The age of human galactic protection had begun. Across thousands of star systems, peaceful species looked up at their skies, knowing that somewhere in the darkness, Earth's Deathworld warriors were coming to help. Humanity had answered the galaxy's call, and the universe would never be the same.